So let's take a moment to ground. So just feeling your feet on the floor, your toes on the floor, your contact points on the chair. Maybe taking some deep breaths, just as a signal to the body that you're preparing yourself for some formal practice. You may choose to focus on your feet for your anchor. You may choose to focus on the rising and the falling of the abdomen. Or simply the inhalation and exhalation of the breath. Okay, so thank you for doing that mindful minute. And for our YouTube viewers around the world, this is June 2022, and we are from the Mindfulness Network for People of Color. And today I am here with a couple of friends, and we have been practicing loving kindness for people of color for a few days now. And we have decided to record our private session and upload it to YouTube for your benefit. So what is loving kindness? So loving kindness is an ancient Buddhist practice alongside sympathetic joy, practices of compassion, practices of equanimity that are designed to increase one-pointedness, concentration of meditation. So these practices are a process. There are, in many ways, an antidote. They are a solution or an answer to much of life's harshness that we are dealt with as people of color. So maybe this comes out of as microaggressions, other areas of adversity, and particularly in today's world of economic crisis, of war, of enormous responsibilities, which can really weigh so heavy on all of us who already carry traumas and are subjected to constant re-traumatization. So these practices in the form of, as we just done a mindful minute to help you ground yourself, and more in-depth practices of loving kindness. So loving kindness is a combination of visualization with affirmations. And so today we're going to practice also the 4 stages of loving kindness. The first stage is directed towards oneself. So this is directing to whatever degree possible, even if we don't mean it to start with. We begin by saying the phrases, may I feel safe and protected from inner and outer dangers. May I feel healthy, or may I be healthy. May I live with ease. May my heart be soothed. So these affirmations are the most commonly given affirmations, but you can actually also choose affirmations that actually work for you to tailor your own needs, once you actually also perfect, or once you feel more comfortable with these 4 original affirmations. I sometimes think that this practice, or I know rather, that this practice is a precious gift, just as our lives are a precious gift, that everything that we already have is actually already inside us. But sometimes we actually forget how precious we actually are and how short this life can be. And for some of us, generating feelings of warmth and kindness towards oneself can be very challenging, because sometimes we're coming from difficult situations where love hasn't been present, or hasn't been consistent, or even the opposite. So this is an invitation really to begin to transform these difficult narratives, these memories, these traumas that can be hidden in the body for years unattended to, for years unmanaged. And they create barriers of all sorts of the heart. They create barriers of the mind. They damage our cells. They create heart disease. They create social problems. The list is endless. But most importantly, the gift, the precious gift of this practice is that we get to live full lives, really establishing these connections, the sense of intimacy, this sense of reuniting with our mission statement, reuniting with a sense of establishing meaning and real determination, a thirst for life. So in this practice, you can visualize a beautiful place that you're comfortable with. So this can be, for most people, a forest or a beach, or somewhere in your own home. It could be a temple or a monastery, but just somewhere that you're feeling that you're feeling held and cradled and protected. In a sense, it's a spiritual sanctuary, a safe base, a refuge. So also we can think in this moment, as we go through these different stages, how our attention shifts from person to person, any softening of these narratives, of the feelings, particularly to oneself. Are you now beginning to name some of the core conditions that have held you back? So first we name them, we see them without judgment, without particularly needing to change them, but just seeing them and observing them for what they are, which that is impermanent. All of these feelings are subject to change and can actually pass and will pass. So let's begin by focusing around the body, as we were a few minutes ago, focusing our attention on the rising and the falling. And for this visualization, I'm going to take you into the New Forest in the south coast of England, in this ancient woodland, which is a beautiful sanctuary. And as you walk with me under the canopies, You begin to notice the soft ground below you, the beautiful smell of the pines, the massive redwood trees, the many sounds of the birds in the distance, the lovely smell and taste of the sea air. And as you begin to lay down on the soft ground, you notice and see the soft texture encompassing your body, just surrounding you and cradling you, almost contouring to your body's definition, like a glove, almost feeling like a cocoon. So in the peace and sanctuary of this moment, which you now begin to internalize, we begin our affirmations. May I feel safe and protected from inner and outer danger. May I be happy and content. May I be healthy and whole. May I live with ease and well-being. So allowing that goodness to sink within us, and maybe even breathing out and allowing the trees to absorb all the negative statements, thoughts, and energy. Just allowing the environment to nurture and to care for you. So now we'll move to the benefactor, or the person who has, or the person that we choose to send loving kindness to, the second stage. So this can be an ancestor. This can be someone in your current family household who's going through a difficult period even. But as a whole, it could be someone you love, but at the moment you're struggling with. But in the same way that we then generated this sense of openness to sending all parts of ourselves loving kindness, we now begin to send all parts of them, seen and unseen, in their lifespan, throughout their lifespan, from childhood. May they feel safe and protected from inner and outer dangers. May they be happy and content. May they be healthy and whole. May they live with ease and well-being. And so a neutral person, our third stage, perhaps someone you have avoided, or maybe someone you see on the passing, like a nurse or a postman, perhaps someone in the checkout queue, or maybe someone at work. But in the spirit of interconnectedness, the spirit of inclusivity, that we include all of the people around us so they may benefit from our practice. May they feel safe and protected from inner and outer danger. May they be happy and content. May they be healthy and whole. And may they live with ease and well-being. So finally, the fourth stage, the difficult person situation. And so this is a stage where more than likely we find ourselves quite regularly, sometimes by people we know, sometimes by strangers. Perhaps it's consistent. Perhaps we need to see solutions around it. Maybe it's causing us a lot of pain and suffering. And so in this stage, we see the person rather than the actions. Wishing the person, the individual, to whatever degree we're able to, a sense also of peace and harmony. So perhaps picking a situation or a person that's not too challenging at the moment, thinking and reciting our affirmations. May they feel safe from inner and outer dangers. May they feel safe and protected from inner and outer dangers. May they be happy and content. May they be happy and whole, or healthy and whole. And may they live with ease and well-being. So as we begin to close this meditation, Just perhaps thanking the force around us, this healing and ancient wisdom around us from the time of the Buddha. Now visualize yourself bowing in the four directions, thanking the ancestors or your higher power. And may this practice be a sense of comfort, a sense of ease, and a sense of change and wholeness for all that reach it. Thank you. So maybe I could invite you just to say a few words, if you don't mind, as to what your process was or what your experience, anything you want to share. Maybe Beverly first.
Yeah, as previously, the first three parts of the meditation were spaces I felt I could easily settle into. And I initially struggled with the last part and the difficult situation, difficult person. What really helped me was something you said, William, about, well, how I heard it separating the person from the behavior. Because I think what I was doing was actually seeing the person and the behavior as one, and being able to separate that. I was able to see the human, I was able to see the person. And that was really helpful. That enabled me then to be able to visualize the person and to wish them love and kindness. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. So it's interesting, isn't it? Because then we can use this practice to get back to or see the individuals for who they are, not necessarily for their faults or for how they're presenting in that moment. Because of course that might be us to someone else. You know, so hopefully we will benefit from this practice just as much as they do. Yeah.
And just to say as well, I think something about how being able to create these spaces, having a ripple effect. So we're sending something out that hopefully then can bring us all to places where our humanness is recognized and valued. So there's something quite powerful about that. So I am grateful that we were able to sit this afternoon and sharing that practice.
Well, yes, because hopefully people of color around the world, and goes beyond people of color, but of course this is specifically for people of color, but it may hit the right person at the right time when they most need it. And that's very powerful what the three of us have done here in this moment. So we're sending it off, you know, with kindness. Thanks for your practice. Yeah. Shobit.
Yeah, like always, I didn't want it to end my practice. I wanted to keep on going. I did only 3 stages because I spent sufficient amount of time on each stage, and it was more lovable. Especially today, uh, uh, we are celebrating my mother's birthday, and starting from myself, I experienced happiness, deep happiness within myself, and um Yeah, I was mostly tuned in with my body. I experienced happy sensations like my stomach. I felt deep, like the breath was coming in and going out. My stomach, I could experience it, yeah, and my stomach. And then throughout the day, I have been in contact with so many people. So it was like my metta was connecting with them, like my metta was flowing towards them. And I felt a deep satisfaction towards my mother because I did the metta for her in the second stage. And in the third stage, I did a metta for a stranger who I met today. And yeah, at first, the second stage and third stage, uh, I was thinking more cautiously about my mother throughout the day, but in today's method practice, I was more consciously thinking about the stranger as well, because we don't take into consideration. We are only sticking to ourselves and now to our family. Sometimes more bit of craving, but today I was very happy about also thinking about the stranger as well, and he had also a part to play in my practice. So yeah, and the most beautiful thing that I felt was bowing down to our ancestor. So I could imagine that I was intentionally bowing down towards the ancestor. So it felt a deep satisfaction in my heart, and yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah, I wanted to keep going on with the practice. I certainly enjoy, or I'm a great fan of Metta Bhavana. Yeah. Mm.
Well, happy birthday to your mother. Please tell us her name.
Yeah, thank you so much.
What's your mother's name?
Uh, Her name is Vandana.
Okay. Well, we're going to send loving kindness to your mother in her birthday. I think we should send, actually, now that we're here, send a loving kindness to all mothers who are listening to this. But something you said that really interests me about that sometimes one stage may be more interesting or directive than the other. And for some people, maybe we may be thinking, oh, it might be the neutral person that is less effective. But what are we doing here right now? That we're recording this for a neutral person, and we don't know how they're going to benefit. And sometimes the message of kindness can really go a long way when people are feeling down or broken or eroded or particularly re-traumatized, like so many of our people have been for centuries. So what you've done, do not underestimate each stage, that they're all quite powerful in design. And actually, you think all of those people who have been practicing this for the last 2,500 years, generating that energy that circulates around the world, and particularly in a time like today, with so many wars and uncertainties, that people need something to a return to something more simple, something back to basics. We have really embraced technology. We have come so far as humans in terms of so many capabilities, but we're really losing our sense of protecting the things near us, like the planet, and protecting our loved ones. And some of those basic core values is what really is missing here. And there's a real thirst and hunger in all people, regardless of color, to be protected, to be loved, to survive. And so we end this by sending it also to all people around the world, in conflicts. Particularly, I'm thinking also of all of you who are actually friends of the earth, who are really fighting for the environment, because this is a real trying time in terms of really beginning to send metta to the planet, because it just feels like we spent too long actually killing it. So we need to fall in love again with the beautiful world that we live in. So hopefully this message will get to the right people, and sending lots of love to all of you. Okay, so